Hi, welcome to SimplyNAS Media. Today we're going to be taking a look at the QNAP TVS-863. The main difference of the QNAP TVS-863 is unlike any other QNAP box that has been released before, this comes on the AMD platform. It has a quad-core 2.4 GHz processor with 8 Radeon graphics inbuilt onto the processor. This allows the TVS-863 to have better graphics capability whilst also having a decent processing capability. The main advantage here being is you can play 4K videos now. This will be the first NAS that they released that had 4K capability. The X71 series that came after this was released I think about a month after. Also has 4K capability, just carrying over from the technology that was used in this box. That is however Intel based. So the biggest advantage here is being on AMD instead of Intel. All the applications in the App Store work. You don't have to worry about being the Intel and the AMD difference. That more applies to PCs as opposed to the NAS. All the applications have now come out with their AMD version, so you can still install Dropbox, you can still install Plex Media, Kodi as XVMC is now called. All of those are still available on the NAS. Biggest advantage being it is a lot faster than what we would call its predecessor, the 853. However, remember the 853 was on the Intel platform, so the actual successor to the 853 is the 871. However, that being said, this now falls in the category in between those two. Again, biggest advantage being the 4K streaming. And of course now you've got this nice new gold colour as opposed to the black colour that we're used to with the QNAPs. Looking at the front of the NAS, you've got your power button and you've got your one-touch copy. The one-touch copy is, as it's always been on a QNAP, external hard drive, bring data onto the NAS, take data off the NAS if you'd like as well. Power button does exactly what it does. You've got your LCD at the top, which will give you your status indicators. You've also got your status LEDs letting you know the NAS is on. If there's an error, one of those lights will go red. The LCD will also, of course, tell you if there's an error too. So you've got a couple of ways of interacting with the NAS without actually having to go onto the web UI. If you buy a disk list, you can just set up the NAS, put in your hard drives, hit the power button, and choose the RAID array from the arrows here, hit enter and let your NAS build itself. It takes about a day or so. With the 8 bays, we typically find it takes over a day if your hard drives are over 4 terabytes, so do keep that in mind. Of course, easier for you to get our NAS bit testing service and let us do it for you and ship it out so it's ready to use. Generally, taking a look at the front, you've just got your hard drive bays here. At the top here, it does tell you, if I can just stop doing it down there, at the top here, it does tell you where your hard drive bays go. So this will be bay 1, and that'll be bay 8 and everything in between. You've got your QNAP Cloud key. That just lets you set up QNAP Cloud easier with a little QR code up here. However, it's as easy as logging into the web UI and just putting in a username and password if you have one. If you don't have one, create one and just go through the steps. If you've got a UPnP router, you'll be ready to use a QNAP over the internet. That's taking a look at the front. We'll switch it around to the back, take a look at the back, and then we'll speak some more about the features after that. Okay, taking a look at the back of the NAS. You have your 2 power fans here, just keeps your NAS nice and cool, keeps your hard drives cool as well, basically to regulate any type of heat, but we do recommend you keep it in a decent temperature room. You've got your power cable up here, standard power cable that we're used to putting on, let's say a PC for instance. If you lose your cable that comes with the NAS, you can just go to Best Buy and pick one up. There's a small fan here. This is to regulate the actual operating system in terms of the motherboard. It's not a very powerful fan, it's just to regulate a bit of air. You have your expansion slot up here. This is the 863, so the 863 Plus does not have this expansion slot. It comes with a 10 gig installed. This is a 10 gig ready. So you have the option of saving yourself a bit of money if you don't want 10 gig right now and then adding 10 gig later on. Supports SFP Plus connections, fiber, copper and base T. After that, you've got your 2 RJ45s here, and your 4 USB 3s. This one doesn't come with any USB 2.0 ports, but bear in mind USB 3 is always backwards compatible. These aren't USB hosts, you can't add hard drives to the RAID array using these. This is baby mouse, keyboard, expansion units. The UX series are meant especially for the tower-based NASs. Those connect via USB 3 as opposed to what we're used to on the bigger rack mounts with the SAS cable connection. So one of these, or even 2 of these, can be used for expansion later on as well. The 863 supports up to 2 expansions, the 863 Plus supports up to 3 expansions. Then you've got 2 HDMI ports here. The first one is your main HDMI port. This is where you'll connect up to a TV or a monitor if you want to use this as a QVPC. The second one is reserved. It allows you to add a second monitor, but this doesn't do split desktops, it only does desktop mirroring. So if you add a second monitor, you're going to have the same screen on that second monitor. That's just taking a look at the back of the NAS. We've covered everything there. Always remember, these aren't hosts, these are just for external drives to be added into the NAS. I'll switch it back around, we'll talk a little bit more about the features of the NAS and let you know what else you can do with it. Okay, bringing you back around to the front of the NAS, we'll talk a bit more about the features as we've already seen the front of the NAS. The TVS-863, basically, main addition here is Home NAS. This allows you to stream any type of media that you'd like, be it over DLNA or be it from the two HDMI ports at the back of the NAS. Basically, the biggest addition here is QNAP NASes have always been DLNA compatible. We've had HDMI since the X53 series, so it's nothing new in that sense. The biggest upgrade will be the ability to stream and display 4K. Basically, all of QNAP's graphics, so when you load on HDMI, the HD station that you're presented with, now that's 4K compatible as well in terms of resolution. Before we were upscaling on 1080p, so you get a nice crisp screen when you're browsing on Google Chrome, when you're using Firefox, when you're trying to use Spotify, you get a lovely screen available now. Matches your resolution of your TV. Other advantages, of course, you can play 4K video. There's not many things on the market that allow you to play 4K video at the moment. 4K TVs are in abundance, but there's nothing actually showing you the UHD video. This supports UHD video. At the moment, it only supports the H.264 compression method. H.265 compression method is still fairly new, being worked on. We do assume QNAP will implement it probably in about 6-7 months' time when it becomes a bit more mainstream. The main additions of that codec are, of course, lower file sizes, so more space on your QNAP for you. But at the moment, really, if you're going to do 4K, you should buy the 6-bay and above. Specifically, the 8-bay is the better option, simply because of the file size of the UHD videos. Blu-rays are typically around 4 or 5 gig. UHD videos can range between 15 to 25 gigs, so that's a huge video file. You run out of space very quickly if most of your video collection turns into UHD. But then, of course, that depends on whether you can find the file available. So DLNA wise, that's great. It's a good streaming box. All your media on here, I mean, you can have this if you set up your network, you can have this sitting in the garage and still play all the media out of your NAS. Of course, with QNAP Cloud, it also means you can access your media wherever you are on the go. Allows you to use iOS, Android, Windows Phone. They have applications available. QFile is there, QMusic is there, QPhotos there. Allows you to play. QFile allows you to basically grab any type of file off the NAS. It's not just limited to media. So any documents you want to use, anything you'd like to grab off the NAS, QFile will allow you to do. QPhoto lets you actually upload videos and photos to your NAS from an Android device. iOS devices do not support it because Apple has a closed ecosystem in there. There's also QNotes available. QNotes is only Android based at the moment, mainly because it requires you to write to the NAS while you're actually editing and uploading your notes. iOS doesn't allow it, so again, it's only an Android feature for now. Moving aside from the mobile features and the cloud features, this box is VMware, Citrix and Hyper-V compatible, so you can use this as a nice SCSI target if you're in a business. You can use it as a nice SCSI target to your server. This will allow you to basically dump all your data here. You don't have to go and buy out those expensive SAS disks for your server for more storage space on your server. You can just use one of these NASes instead. Other advantages are, of course, QNAP's built-in virtualization station. You can now use this as a PC. This is mainly for home users, as the X63 series in general can only host one VM. So a business wouldn't only host one VM, you'd have to probably move to the more enterprise NASes for that. Home users, we can install Windows 7, Windows 8. You can't install Mac OS X, Apple just don't allow it, so it doesn't happen. But we can use Linux and we can use Android as well. So, I mean, there's flexibility in terms of what you want to install. You can use this as your PC, you can use it as a gaming device if you have Android. Have this hooked up to your TV and play all your Android games quite happily. If you do install Android, you have the ability to go to the Android App Store, download a controller and use your phone as a controller as well. So there's a lot of new fun things you can do with it in a home environment. Aside from that, those are the main features of the QNAP TVS-863. Thank you for watching our video on the QNAP TVS-863. That'll conclude our introduction to the TVS-863 and the features of it. If you did like this video, please hit the like button and like our video. Also, alternatively, hit the subscribe button. That way we can we can send you updates when we post new videos, and that way you can see the other features of other NASs also. If you have any other questions about this video, do give us a call at 407-960-4690. Alternatively, you can also email us at sales@simplynas.com. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.